across generations, across cultures. People have always reached for something they can hold, something tangible to connect with the invisible. Oil, water, mantles, sands, salts, fruits, rings, necklaces. Objects set apart not as ordinary, but as sacred. Simple things, and yet, in the hands of faith, they become something more. They are touched, prayed over, sprinkled and spread with faith and often with emotion. If God is spirit, fully capable of reaching the human spirit, why do we reach for objects? And when we do, what exactly are we trusting in? Adesina Ayantoyinbo is my name. Welcome to Sacred Tensions, where faith meets reason. Tonight, we examine one of the most contemporary expressions of spirituality and faith. Spiritual items. Do these things carry power, or is it God working in the moment? Contemporary religious life. In moments of desperation, faith often looks for something it can hold, something to touch, to see, to keep, because unseen power can feel distant. In contemporary religious life, spiritual items are widely used. For many, they serve as aids to devotion, reminders of God's presence, focal points for prayer. For others, however, they risk becoming essential, objects without which faith feels incomplete. This divergence reveals something profound. The issue is not universal practice, but individual orientation of the heart. Scripture does not deny the use of physical elements. Oil was poured on selected people for divine purposes. Kings and priests were consecrated thereby. A staff stretched over waters, and seas divided. A garment strikes the river, and the waters part. A fig fruit was applied, and healing followed. A handkerchief carried from a man, and the sick were healed. Jesus even used clay to restore vision. So, the question is not whether God has ever used objects. Rather, what were they truly? Were they channels of divine power, or simply points of contact for human faith? Yet, in each case, the objects did not initiate power. It participated in an encounter. Because somewhere along the line, the focus can shift from the source to the symbol, from the giver to the object, and subtly, almost invisibly, faith begins to relocate. Theological clarifications. Classical Christian thought has consistently maintained God is not dependent on objects as a means of mediation. He is immediate, sovereign, and unrestricted, as expressed in Scripture. God's presence is not confined to temples made by hands. His action is not dependent on human instruments. Even when he chooses to use physical means, he is never bound to them. This distinction is critical, because what God can use, man may begin to depend on, and what is meant to assist faith may eventually compete with it. Symbol and meaning. Religious symbols serve a purpose. They embody meanings. They externalize faith. They provide form to invisible realities. Oil may signify consecration. Water may represent cleansing. A mantle may suggest calling or continuity. But symbols are only meaningful so long as they point beyond themselves. The moment a symbol becomes self-contained, it ceases to guide and begins to replace. Here lies the danger. What happens when assurance rests in the oil rather than in God? When confidence begins to depend on the water, the ring, the necklace, rather than on faith. When the absence of the object produces fear, then something has shifted. This is no longer symbolism, it is displacement, a subtle, often unrecognized movement from faith in God to faith in a medium. And this movement, though gradual, alters the very structure of belief. Does this movement still point to faith in God or faith in a method? Because anything, no matter how sacred it began, can become an idol if it replaces dependence on God. Where does power truly reside? Can God choose to work through objects without being confined to them? When does a symbol become a dependency? Is my faith anchored in God or assisted by objects? And if all external aids were removed, would your faith remain? The question is not whether spiritual items exist. It is whether they are rightly understood. Maybe it is not wrong to use what helps your faith reach out, but it becomes dangerous when your faith cannot reach without it. Objects may assist expression, but they cannot replace trust. They may accompany faith, but they cannot generate it. When you hold that oil, that water, that mantle, that fruits, what are you really trusting? The item or the God you believe is behind it? When the symbol becomes the source, faith begins to shift. The tension remains. True faith does not reside in objects. It rests in God alone. And that distinction changes everything. I am Adesina Ayantoyinbo. This is Sacred Tensions, where faith meets reason. Please subscribe, engage, and share. See you next time.